We've got a lot to get to today, so let's just jump right in. But by the way, stay until the very end, just before the numbers, because I'm going to give you the best post on X today, maybe all week, maybe all month, and maybe ever. So we'll get to that post at the very end, just before the numbers. All right. Well, the Fed just came out. Their decision was to maintain the current rates, and they shortened the overall information. We'll get down to that as well in a few minutes. The markets were flattish, waiting for the Fed, but tipped down in my first look, but we'll look at that in about 20 minutes. Gas prices are dropping fast. We'll take a look at that. The latest idea out there for the Tesla SpaceX merger would be a holding company. Now, that's an old idea that's been re-raised, and we'll talk about that. And in fact, we'll talk about that first. Elon Musk says, good idea, to a post by Hey Dave. He says, I propose to Elon Musk to form a holding company called X, of course. X's mission is to ensure human survival and progress. X becomes the parent company of Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, and the Boring Company. And Elon, what do you think? And Elon actually responded. He liked it. Okay, so we'll talk about that a little bit more in detail, but in a lot more detail in shows tonight with Jeff Lutz and Brian Wang. All right. According to Grok, though, Grok and I had a long conversation about this. A Musk holding company would meaningfully address valuation, governance, and transfers. But SpaceX's June 12 IPO complicates a clean structure and accelerates momentum towards consolidation. A separately trading Tesla, et cetera, forces investors to buy imperfect proxies, and it undervalues the synergies like Tesla's AI data, SpaceX orbital compute, shared terafab chips, et cetera. You know all that, right? A single public market will create one liquid Musk basket, capturing the full ecosystem narrative, potentially $3 trillion plus in market cap. Limitations. The markets may still apply a conglomerate discount. We've talked about that many times on the show, like the GE was the poster child for that. In governance, it would be a strong win. It would centralize Musk's split attention, unified board strategy, one board, talent moves, oversight. Musk's 85% voting control in SpaceX gives him leverage. Tesla's public status adds activist SEC friction, but Texas domicile will help with that. Gwen Stockwell, she's an analyst, note it would simplify his life with a merger or with this approach. Economic transfers, easiest benefit, internal capital, IP, talent flows, Tesla batteries to SpaceX, data centers, Cybertrucks joining, all this back and forth would be benefited. It's already happening via related party deals, but this system would make it much, much easier, according to Grok. SpaceX impact, it complicates because you have two public shareholder bases. You have fairness opinions, you've got potential suits, you've got antitrust scrutiny. But it validates the ecosystem story and provides fresh capital. Independent trading would likely end in a merger. Maybe, okay, but maybe it stays that way with subsidiaries. Bottom line, a pragmatic evolution of Musk's empire building is underway. It solves core problems better than status quo, but it brings regulatory dilution and execution risks. But it seems to me right this minute that maybe Elon might be tilting towards a holding company. I'm going to take back my compliment to writers yesterday and reinstate my earlier insult. They're really trash at what they do. I mean, seriously. Now they've managed to gin up yet another set of headlines around the horrific analysis that they did of Tesla's FSD stats. Two U.S. senators, Democrats, of course, are asking NISTA whether NISTA, are doing anything beyond what Tesla is offering them. But that did remind me, when is NISTA going to provide its nationwide rules regarding robotaxis? Those are way past due. Does this have anything to do with the holdup on getting robotaxis out there? We definitely are seeing a lot more robotaxis or cybercabs being built which gives some indication, at least, according to Dr. Jack, Dr. Know-It-All, he thinks this could be, we're really, really close. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong raised the idea of a Van Neumann probe, a theoretical self-replicating spacecraft that uses space resources. The conversation began when Armstrong took to the X platform and raised the possibility of building a Van Neumann probe, a theoretical space. I just said that. Musk responded that a legion of optimi combined with solar panels will constitute the first Van Neumann probe. Musk comments expand on previous statements in which he described Tesla's Optimus humanoid robot as an early example of a machine that could help establish human infrastructure on other worlds. The reply also highlighted a potential role for Tesla's Optimus humanoid robots in future space missions. Self-replicating exploration systems would require autonomous machines capable of construction, resource extraction, manufacturing in remote and harsh environments. In that framework, Optimus could provide robotic labor while SpaceX supplies transportation. Musk remarks have triggered a SpaceX-Tesla merger debate. We know that. All right. Yahoo Finance, JP Morgan, out today, estimates that Tesla's EPS could surge. Their earnings per share could surge to $7.50 by 2030 from roughly $1.95 this year. Moreover, the brokerage sees Tesla's revenue more than doubling from 95 to over 200 billion in 2030. Expects the company's newer businesses like services, robotics, and autonomous driving to contribute nearly half of the projected top-line growth. JP Morgan sees a $3.9 trillion addressable market opportunity for the company. $3.9 trillion addressable market. Tesla, a Model Y driver started experiencing, yeah, I like this story. A Model Y driver, this is from Tesla_NA. A Model Y driver started experiencing a medical emergency with chest pain mid-drive, and he called his son on the phone. His son remotely rerouted the car, which has FSD supervised enabled. He rerouted them to the nearest hospital and let them know that the vehicle was en route. ER staff were standing by on arrival. Doctors later confirmed that the quick route changing likely saved his life. Okay, from the short subjects department, Kathy Wood did sell Tesla stock to buy SpaceX stock. Shows it could be being done. There could be others who have done this. I think it is a thing. But it could go the other way. As I've mentioned before, we could see it going the other way over the next 6 months with the unlocks where people have too much of SpaceX stock in their portfolios and decide, I want to stay in the Elon Musk environment, so I'll put some of it in Tesla. And of course, in that 6 months, we could also hear much more about a merger, a holding company, or whatever else. All right, this is Randy Kirk. This video today is sponsored by Rebellionaire. Now, Rebellionaire, they're a registered investment advisor. They're built specifically for investors who think differently about concentrated wealth. A lot of investors in this audience that are right here today follow companies like Tesla and SpaceX, not because they're chasing a headline, but because they believe these businesses are tied to major long-term themes like autonomy, robotics, energy, space, satellite technology, and artificial intelligence. Rebellionaire works with investors who hold concentrated positions, including interest in companies such as Tesla and SpaceX, and it provides investment management, financial planning, and related advisory services. Their work includes helping clients evaluate portfolio concentration, risk management, tax considerations, income strategies, charitable planning, liquidity needs, and long-term financial goals. For more information about Rebellionaire, including its services and important disclosures, please visit Rebellionaire, that's with an E, REBELLIONAIRE, that's the hard part, .com. Gasoline at the pump is down 51 cents. That's according to AAA, that's over 10% in just the last 30 days. It is 90 cents away from last year's bottom, roughly 25% more to go. Oil prices are down 25% already, and a lot of that in the last 10 days. We're nearing the last year's low at $60 a barrel, which is actually 57 and change, but that was just for a few days. Thus, we should be seeing average prices under $4 soon and approaching last year's lows, maybe next month. Retail sales for May were $763.7 billion. That is up 0.9% versus an already high 0.6% expected from the previous month. It is 6.9% compared to May of 2025. 6.9% above May of 2025. Total sales for the March 2026 through May 2026 period were up 5.3% from the same period a year ago. The March 2026 period to April period, the last 3 months, was revised up from up 0.5% to only up 0.4%. That's interesting. Retail trade sales were up 1% from April and up 7.5% from a year ago. Non-store retailers were up 12% from last year, while food services and drinking places were up 2.7% from May 2025. Now, food services and drinking places only being up 2.7 would probably reflect what the amount that they have raised prices. Remember, they're in the outlier camp, in my opinion. They're raising their prices much faster than the overall inflation number. The control group, this is something that the Fed pays a lot of attention to, or at least until now with the Fed chairman. He may have changed this, but what they really like is something called the control group, which excludes autos, gas, building materials, and food services. That increased by 0.7% in May, also beating the 0.6 expected. So there you go. That, of course, has a direct impact on GDP, which, in fact, according to GDP Now, went from 2.8 yesterday to 3.0, back up to 3.0 today. Pending home sales in May increased by 3.8% month over month and 4.8% year over year. Month over month and year over year, pending home sales rose in the Northwest, the Northeast, the Midwest, the South, and the West. According to Chief Economist Dr. Lawrence Yun, a late spring buying rush, even with mortgage rates not budging, is an indication of pent-up housing demand and consumer acceptance of the over 6% mortgage rates, which are standard, normal. The inventory-constrained Northeast region, which has seen faster home price growth but slower home sales for several months, is now showing a little bit more contract signing. So there you go. The GDP, we just talked about that. Trueflation has been kind of flattish, but now down a little bit to 1.81% in the overnights. Okay, here we go. The X post day, the number one X post for today. You decide. Let me know in the comments. Maybe it's the best post I've seen all week or all year. Economic activity is expanding at a solid pace. That is not the post. I put this in ahead of it. So I don't think I'm going to put it off. I'm going to put it off for 2 more paragraphs. Here's from the Fed today, their new shorter version. Now, this is not the whole thing. It's like 1 paragraph more, but the other part was boring. So economic activity is expanding at a solid pace despite elevated uncertainty that owes in part to the conflict in the Middle East. Productivity growth and capital investment are strong. Job gains have kept pace with the workforce, and the unemployment rate has changed a little. Inflation remains elevated relative to the 2% goal, in part reflecting supply shocks that have driven price increases in certain sectors, including energy. The committee will deliver price stability. And again, they didn't change their number. All right, now we'll get that. By the way, that's much shorter. We'll see what he says today at about, actually, if you're looking at it right now, he's probably speaking right now. Just to be clear, it says here, this is from Netter Mike. Just to be clear, Hungarian-born billionaire George Soros, who finances left-wing progressive activities in the United States and throughout the world, has never, not once, it has never happened, been accused by AOC, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, Adam Schiff, or any other Democrat, not one, no, not a single Democrat, not a single person on X, nobody. I'm adding all this to the post just to make it more exciting. Anyway, never have any of those people said that he, didn't earn his money, or that he should be eliminated or changed or thrown out of the club or anything else. Only Elon Musk, an ex-Democrat who now supports Donald Trump, has had such complaints? Well, you get it? All right. So let's go on. Let's look at what has the Fed decision done? The Fed decision has done this. We got the S&P down now 0.42 but heading back up again. The NASDAQ down 0.37 and heading back up again. The Dow Jones only down 0.1 and almost back to the green. But all headed up. Same thing for Tesla. Tesla down, but headed back up. So it's at 402.66 right now, down 0.49. The Magnificent Seven, all down, 100% down. And a few of them are now headed back up. Meta and Amazon, no. Like Amazon is down 2.58 and Meta's down 3.83. Microsoft is down 2.6. Google's down 1.89. Apple down, NVIDIA is the least. He's only down 0.57. All right, SpaceX, by the way, also down 2.53. It's less than earlier. It was down 5%, but it's right now sitting at 196.68. Similarly, it is heading a little bit back toward the green. The VIX is up a lot. I think this has to do with the president's statement, but maybe also the Fed statement is back to 1776, just below neutral. So still slightly positive. ARK Invest up 1.49. I put a posting up today on X talking about that ARK Invest is up over the last year. They're up over the last 2 years. They're up over the last 10 years. I mean, by a lot, by more than the S&P. How come Cathie Woods gets so much? Okay, that's enough of that. All right, let's go on to, the Treasury yields have skyrocketed. Well, quite frankly, not so much. They're up 2.5% to 4.45, about where they were a week ago, but not up to the 4.5 where they were almost 2 weeks ago. That's roughly. Don't check me on that. Oil is up only 50 cents. 276.58. That's Texas Intermediate. Brent 79.37, up 0.41 cents. Natural gas down nicely, down 2.25, but still sitting above 3 at 317. You've got gold down 49. It has been all over the place today. Down, up, down, up. Right now down 4,305. Silver down even more, down 1.7% to 68.74. You've got the dollar now coming back up again. I think it was down and now it's back up again. Dollar firm. See, dollar firms as the Fed holds interest rates steady. You've got the Bitcoin now down to 11. It also has been fluctuating a lot. 65,371. Ethereum down 1.59% to 1766. And those are all of the facts you need to know about what happened today. Earlier this morning, we had Brian White on, who did an analysis of where we are with robotaxi. Just how close are we? Not just a little here, a little there. Yeah, no, we went into deep, and just looked at everything. Looked at the numbers, looked at the quantity of builds. What are the builds looking like? Where are anyway? Lots and lots of details pointing to the fact that robotaxi is going to launch probably any week. I'll say week, any week. Dr. Jack, he was this morning, he was talking about, boy, it must be right here. Okay, we all think it's right here. That's the only way we can think. Later today, you've got Brian Wang. He'll be on and providing us with, I can't even begin to tell you how good this analysis is going to be. I haven't done it yet, but he and I have been going back and forth on what we're going to talk about. Yeah, it's going to be huge. Maybe it'll be the biggest views I've ever gotten, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, and then first thing in the morning, you'll get Jeff Lutz. As you know, I've moved that. Now, I'm still thinking about. I'm planning to. Maybe I'll change my mind again, but I do have a special that I want to run. Probably maybe tonight at 8:30. We'll see. California time. Everything's California time because that's where I am. All right, that's all I got. It's been great talking to you.